You want to smell my breath? I miss you.
What's up, Brandon?
What up, brother?
What's up? What's up?
How you doing tonight?
Oh man, I feel good, man. I can't complain.
Hell yeah.
So this video I just played, it was this is Democracy Now! The title of it is Enough is Enough: How Australia Reformed Its Gun Laws and Ended Mass Shooting After 1996 Massacre. So let me read the caption underneath the video. It says, after the 1996 Port Arthur mass shooting, Australia passed a sweeping new gun control measures that largely ended mass shootings in the country. We speak with Rebecca Peters, an international arms control advocate who led the campaign to reform Australia's gun laws after the massacre. She recalls how in just 10 days, the Prime Minister brokered a deal with local officials to pass higher standards around gun safety that would prevent any mass shooting for the next 20 years. We don't think at all about the possibility of being murdered as we go about our daily lives in Australia, says Peters. And so the thing is about being in America, it's like, okay, America, freedom, guns, my cold bare hands. But the lady from Australia said she don't have to worry about, walking around the grocery store and possibly getting gunned the fuck down.
I already got a solution. I already have a solution, bro.
What's that?
First of all, okay, so you're gonna have this. It'll be like a facility or an estate, a facility or whatever. If you own any gun, other than just like the most simple handgun, just most simple handgun, and you have limits to where you can carry that. You go to this facility, you keep those guns there, and you can use them there throughout the facility. They'll have like game to hunt, or you know what I mean? They'll have activities to do with the gun, but the gun doesn't leave that facility. If you want a fucking gun, you know what I mean? If shit, all hell broke loose and, it was like everybody for themselves, you could go get your gun. But, I mean.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people would be happy about that because their reason for having
about shootings. No one's happy about shootings.
Nobody's happy about that either. But the people get their guns because they say they want to protect themselves, right? So, like, they protect their homes, or maybe they're in their car, or maybe they carry it on their person, and if they feel threatened,
at
they
that
have
point,
a weapon.
bro, those are guns that they run that they.
Oh, you're breaking up. You froze. I'm gonna read some comments. It says,
"Did you hear me?
Wait. Yeah, you're back. Go ahead. What you were saying,
bro? A lot of these people that actually need it, if they're in like some kind of sketchy situation, like they don't get it from the store, bro. That, you know what I mean? They got the pin or the number fucking scrubbed off that shit. Those kind of guns will always be available. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah,
but
and you can download. You could download the information to you can 3D print guns now.
Yeah, bro, you can do anything because this is a fucking man. I don't even know if I should I just talk about it?
Talk about whatever you want to, man. But what I was gonna say, damn it, I lost it. Fucking the guns. Oh yeah, your suggestion. And that's what I wanted to say. People buy the gun to protect themselves. So the argument of, keeping it in a safe place, because that is cool. I think that's a good idea, because a lot of the problem is these kids, they come take their parents' guns or whatever. They're not locked away or whatever, and then they go and do something fucked up with it. But the family wants to be able to protect their home or protect their person or protect their car. But the thing is, this lady in Australia said she don't have to worry about getting, mowed down.
Well, how about this? We put a panel up where you fill out why you need protection. You got to go. You got to tell them what. And if they deem that you need protection, then you get a little gun. That's it, bro. We don't need to be carrying around AKs. If all hell broke loose, it'd be different.
I agree. I don't think we all need AKs either, or all those different kinds of rifles that have those big long clips that can, let off how many bullets a second. Like, I don't think anybody really needs that. Let me read some more comments underneath the video. It says, I live in Texas, one of the states with the most amount of guns in the U.S. I myself have never fired or even held a gun in my life, nor do I ever want to, but there is no way this will work in the U.S. A lot of people's lifestyles and identity revolves around gun culture. I would love to ban guns completely, but I am definitely in the minority on this issue. Let me read some more. It says,
I was just a suggestion. I don't know.
Yep. Let me read some more. It says, long living in Australia, I've actually finished high school without getting shot. Wait. Let me say that again. Love living in Australia. I've actually finished high school without getting shot. Another comment, it says, I like that Rebecca brought up the money and politics issue also. No popular legislation will ever get passed in the U.S. as long as our politicians are bought off. Ending Citizens United decision should always be at the front of these conversations. And that's the reason why, man. That's the reason why. And, somebody asked me in the other show about voting. It's like, well, then why even vote at all, And I mean, that's a good freaking argument. I ain't gonna lie. But what I say back to that is go ahead and vote so that you can become more, aware of what's happening. You know what I'm saying? Don't just vote. Find out about the people who's running and what stuff they're trying to get done or whatever. And that'll just educate you more about what's happening in the world. So that's worth it. But what this lady was saying in this comment right here, well, Travis, I guess it's a man, saying that, it's the money and the politics. There's no legislation that's going to get passed against guns because the gun lobby has a stranglehold on both parties. Let me read some more. It says, I know this is a serious video, but at 4:48, she says, we don't have to be worried about being murdered in Australia. Have you seen the animals that live in Australia? The people maybe not worry about being murdered by fellow humans, but every day they're worried about being murdered by a kangaroo, octopus, or super poisonous bug, etc. That's not really funny, but still kind of true. There is a controversy surrounding Martin's treatment in the judicial system and the offering of TV for his guilty plea. He was obviously a simple-minded man who may have been taken advantage of in pursuit of new gun laws that the Howard government agreed to. What are they talking about? Martin's treatment. I don't know what they're talking about with that comment. Let me read some more. It says, I'm an Australian who has a co-worker who has school-age grandchildren in the U.S. They're coming home this week. They've had enough. Another comment. We cannot let another 2 years of this go on. It's time for the American people to drag every corrupt politician out of the office. Another comment. It says, implementing Australia's gun laws in no way infringes the second. You can still have a rifle or handgun if you aren't a lunatic. Ban all multi-round and pump-action shotguns. I actually like shotguns. What's up, Doc? Yeah, talking about Guns and Butter is the name of the show, and I was just reading comments underneath the video that I just played of Democracy Now!, talking about how Australia tightened their gun laws, and they haven't had a mass shooting in 20 years.
Yeah, what about Canada? Canada, Justin Trudeau's going after all the pistols now too.
Yeah. How recent was that with the pistols?
Like the 2-3 days ago.
Oh shit! I knew that had to be recent because I didn't remember hearing that. I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, I hadn't heard the one about Australia.
Yep. Well, I'm not gonna play that video again. I already played it, so for the audience, I'm gonna read some more comments. It says, "I want a nationwide buyback. I've been on the fence on the matter for years. As long as other countries know we are packing, it's a nice deterrent. I'm a strong believer in knowing how to hunt well for food. Should times in a person's life is the economy a person can feed their families. Wild hogs are no joke. If you have a run-in with one of them in the woods, I'm a girl. If I have a run-in with a wild hog, a bear or panther, etc., I'm going to be scared out there in the woods. I don't know gun laws. Wait, hold on. Let me see. I don't know how to hunt, yet nonetheless, thoughts such as kept me on the fence. I'm over it. I want to buy back. I'll learn how to hunt with a bow, and I guess I better get good with it. I'm tired of crazy folks killing people. People just are not stable enough mentally as a whole anymore. Her that was a long-winded comment, but I think the thing about she actually, I don't think that she meant to make support her argument, but the argument about like wild boars are dangerous as fuck if you ever been around, and they're big and they're strong and they'll fuck you up. So a bow,
I've spear hunted them before. They're freaking scary, dude.
they're fucking scary. They got big ass teeth. Like this ain't nothing to play with. They'll bite your freaking hand off or some shit. And then like if you get bit by them, it's so fucking gross, you might fucking get a bad infection and die. They're pretty fucking dangerous. A wild boar is a good reason to have a gun. I'm gonna just say that. I don't like guns to kill people, but if it's a wild boar up on me, I would love to have a gun. They run really fast. They're super strong. I think people they don't know stuff, bro. They think these little piglets, the little piggly wigglies or some shit they seen in the movie or something. They got horns and shit. These things are nothing to play with, bro. They'll gash you. And they might eat you, like, because they don't care. Let me read some more. It says, that's normally how it starts. If people would study history, they take a little bit of your freedom here, a little bit of freedom there, and the next thing you know, they're taking a lot of freedom from you. And then they'll be wanting to weigh your food before you eat and seeing how much you will have to pay in taxes for that. Another one, it says, this needs to be talked about far more here in the States. It gets brought up after each mass shooting here and nothing changes. Our politicians just ignore the issues while kids die on a near daily basis from gun violence and mass shootings. And basically, weekly news story nowadays makes me want to leave this country for good. Another one, it says, societal collapse, also known as civilizational collapse, is the fall of a complex human society characterized by loss of cultural identity and of socioeconomic complexity, the downfall of government, and the rise of violence. Ooh. Mad Max. Let me read another one. It says, Joe Rogan's bias against Australia is striking out like a sore thumb. Sticking out. Why am I reading so weird? Joe Rogan's bias against Australia is sticking out like a sore thumb. He will latch onto any false story about restrictive laws about anything, like when he said that it's a good not to be true. It's too good not to be true. Yeah, I'm going to stop reading for a while because obviously I can't read right now. I have what I want to go into, but this is a long ass freaking video, so I don't really know. Wait, let me close this. So I don't know exactly how I want to do it. And I don't want to stay on here too long either. But oh wait, go back. What was that? The infiltration of what you never expect. Oh man, I wasn't expecting to play this, and I haven't seen this, so. Oh wait, is it on or what? What is this? Oh, this is an audio one.
So I sent you a link to that Justin Trudeau stopping all. Basically, he just net zeroed handguns. You can't buy them, you can't sell them, you can't bring them in. No more handguns in Canada.
Okay, I'm gonna go to. It's through Facebook. You sent it through Facebook Messenger. Okay, I'm going to it now. Boom. Is this it? Yep, this is it. Sweet. I wish it was a video because my eyes are already freaking tripping.
There's a video in it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. Where's the no thanks. I don't want nothing from y'all. Where's the video? Is it right here? It's not popping up. It's just a picture. Oh wait, something is popping up.
Dropping views.
Oh, is this just an ad? Hold on. That was just an ad. I thought that was a video. I don't see a video, bro. It's a damn article. I'm gonna read it though. Unless it's at the bottom. I don't see a video. Okay, it says, who is this? NDTV. I don't know what that is. India TV. Headline: Canada, Justin Trudeau announces freeze on handgun ownership. We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership, Justin Trudeau told a news conference, joined by dozens of families and friends of victims of gun violence. So did it go through? It says introducing the legislation. Let me read some more. Ottawa Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced Monday a proposed freeze on handgun ownership in Canada that would effectively ban their importation and sale following recent mass shootings in the United States. The bill must still be passed by Parliament, with the ruling Liberals holding only a minority of seats. We're introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on handgun ownership, Trudeau told a news conference, joined by dozens of families and friends of victims of gun violence. What this means is that it will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada, he said. In other words, we're capping the market for handguns. I remember hearing that clip. But you know what I think? I think this is just politics because they said it needs to pass Parliament and the Liberals are holding minority of seats. So, I don't know Canada's politics enough to really be able to say, but I know how it goes here in the States.
He's actually in the party major. That's how he was able to screw over all the truck drivers and everything.
Yeah, but will he be able to get this legislation to pass?
Well, one thing that Canada has noticed is all of a sudden there's a record sales in handguns.
So see, that's what I mean. So look,
I'll get one before they can't be sold anymore.
Exactly, that makes sense. So, but look, the people who manufacture guns are not dumb. They know all this stuff, and these politicians like Trudeau, they get paid by these freaking corporations. And even if this, like I said, he may not even have no intention of getting this passed. It's just a political ploy after a traumatic event, and it's an opportunity to cash in. I bet you they're selling more and more guns of everything, even the ones that was used in those mass shootings here in the States. I bet you people are buying more and more of those guns too, because they're also worried about
Oh,
them coming in.
Yeah, here, AR-15s have gone through the roof since that last one, bad one, right before the pandemic.
And it just makes sense because
But here's what I think is funny: all of the shootings have been going on all year long, and only now are we hearing about it day by day by day as it becomes a push to elections issue, and they have
Yep.
to find anything to silence the abortion fight.
Yep. I was watching Democracy Now! Said that they were like, it's been this number of shootings and this number even since the last one, and like they're just covering. I don't know. They pick and choose which ones they cover and make us care about it or whatever.
And meanwhile, in Chicago, two street gangs shooting at each other, shoot up across a park and hurt or wound 3 kids and 11 others, and we don't hear a word about it.
And they don't call it a mass shooting. I might play
because
this.
the kids weren't the target, but I'm sorry, kids were still killed. I mean, what? That's the funny thing. And the thing is, that's handguns because they can't aim for shit with them.
Yeah. And they don't call it a mass shooting. They politicize things and they give it names like, I might play this video, but they were talking about how CNN was saying that they used the breaking news banner way too much. And that's just like the mass shooting banner. It's like, it's really about clicks. Mass shooting. Kids died. Oh my God, everybody clicks.
Meanwhile, we're still out of baby formula. Gas is hitting $5 a gallon. Ukraine is in over 100 days. China is still very, very angry about things and still building islands in the North China Sea, choking off the trade routes. But hey, no mention of any of that because, AR-15s, assault rifle 15s, people don't even know anything about guns and they're trying to ban stuff.
And India's building their arms. Iran is playing with nuclear devices. North Korea. It seems like there's an arms race going on in the world where everybody is.
Every single country that Trump went to, and everyone goes, "Oh, you're sucking up to them," and blah blah blah. That wasn't doing anything when he was in office is now pushing the envelope.
And it's fucking sad. And I have to co-sign what you said. I think you're right. He calmed them down a bit, and then now
he was a wild card. They didn't know exactly what he could or would do. This guy here, he's a wimp. He got pantsed in front of the world by a friggin' army that's just a bare fucking generation or two out of the Stone Age. And sent us packing, leaving people behind, people falling off when an orderly retreat had already been planned and arranged. And it wasn't done all because, that was Trump's plan, not ours.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I'm so ticked I'm actually saying his name instead of calling him by numbers.
I think that the American power structure is weakening, and the rest of the world is seeing it. And, it's like, okay, so America is supposed to be the world's police.
It's the weak leadership we've got going around. It's not the overall power of America. It's the weak leadership. And weak leadership makes our country weak, and that makes them contemptible because a lot of people are ruffling at the feathers that they haven't been able to do anything they want to any other country they want because Big Brother's going to step in. But now Big Brother can't even remember where we're supposed to be stepping.
Well, either way, if it's perceived or true, if it's true or just perceived, the world is arming themselves, and it seems like they're getting ready to, cause some problems, man. I see escalation in the future. I don't see de-escalating. Everything is escalating. When you look at global, the arms
Dude, we don't even have to look globally. Look what they're doing in our own country. Identity politics. The whole idea is you divide people by how many ways that they are offended by the world or how many ways the world does them wrong, and then gives them power based on how many times or how many things they're offended by. The most offended people, the most oppressed of all the people, not offended, are the ones that have the most power and the most voice. Basically meaning if you're straight, there's half your power right there. I mean, you got nothing to say anymore.
Yeah. Let me read some more of this article. It says, what this means is there will no longer be possible to buy, sell, transfer, or import handguns anywhere in Canada. In other words, we're capping the market. Days after Canada's worst mass shooting left 23 dead in rural Nova Scotia in April 2020, the government banned 1,500 types of military-grade or assault-style rifles, firearms. But Trudeau acknowledged Monday that gun violence continues to rise. The government statistical agency reported last week that firearm-related violent crimes account for less than 3% of all violent crimes in Canada. But since 2009, the per capita rate of guns being pointed at somebody has nearly tripled, while the rate at which a gun was fired with an intent to kill or wound is up fivefold. See, I don't like that at all. Who wrote this? India.
Okay. Here's the thing. We'll grant them the numbers. They're saying the reports are up 5 times, so we'll give them the numbers. But here's what I don't understand. All they're doing is reacting to the gun violence. They're not reacting to the fact that we just locked everyone inside for 2 years, split them apart ideologically, turned them on people, sometimes in their own household, in their own families. And the left has this, you can't have anything to do with a conservative or you're one of them. You know, they literally will shun you if you're friends with a conservative. Meanwhile, we're the right. We don't shun you. We just make jokes. I mean, we've done that. We locked them away. We dissolved their ability to handle things socially. We pushed everybody to the raggedy fucking edge.
I agree with you.
And we don't have help for anybody. And people that are crying out help, we're going, yes, but you're going to have to wait 3 months to get an appointment in person or blah, 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 or have this or that. And in Canada, it's just as bad because, they've got free health care. Yeah, free health care, but they'll tell you right there, if you need certain things done or if you need anything done with a speedy nature, you best go get it on your own because standardized testing in some cases can take up to months, 2 or 3 months before they have an opening. It's a flooded market.
And that's another reason why crime is going up. I mean, like after the stress of COVID and, a lot of people lost a lot.
Going up because everybody is given an excuse to commit crime now. Now there's less punishments. There's less consequences. Oh, well, all I got to say is BLM and I can go get me a free TV. All I got to do is say, well, I don't like the way that police officer treated that man. I'm going to go get me a free TV. I think it's under $800. They're not even going to arrest me. Here, $799 in my bag. Flip the finger as you walk out the door.
I have to ask you, how do you know that number, Doc?
I do my research, man.
Let me read a little bit more of this article.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, yeah, for the general person, that's not a big deal. But we haven't grown up around the normal people. We've grown up around the dark side. We've grown up around the criminal element. You and me both know there's people out there counting 788, 789.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Let's go.
Yeah. It's like, don't worry about it. It's not a felony. Let me read some more. It says almost.
Now, the cops can't even chase you.
Yeah. I don't think they should chase people for property anyways. Like property, I mean, and if people got insurance, no, there's no real victim. It's a victimless crime. you know. Let me read some more. It says almost 2/3 of gun crimes in urban areas involved handguns. Police often point to smuggling from the United States, which is reeling from recent shootings at a school in Texas and at a supermarket in New York State as the main source of handguns. Public Safety Minister Marco Mendicino estimated there are about 1 million handguns in the country, up significantly from a decade ago. Trudeau commented, people should be free to go to the supermarket, their school, to their place of worship without fear. People should be free to go to the park or to the birthday party without worrying about what might happen from a stray bullet. It says gun violence is a complex problem, he said, but at the end of the day, the math is really quite simple. Fewer guns in our communities, the safer everyone will be.
So, yeah, because the fewer guns there are in community, the higher percentage of them are going to be in the hands of the criminals. And when there ain't nobody to fight back, you just got to give them what they want anyway. So you're safer because you know you have to comply.
And when the warlords are running the show.
Look at Detroit. One of the highest amounts of gun violence and death this year. Flat out. One of the harshest. New York. Right up there with it. Both of them, what do they have in common? The harshest gun control laws in the country. Regular citizens it's so difficult or illegal for them to carry guns. The only ones carrying guns are the bad guys that don't have regard for human life. The same ones that will sell one to anyone with enough money, no matter whether they're a bit off or not. They don't have to worry about red flag laws.
I'm gonna play some of this video. I don't know how much of it I'm gonna play. Oh, let's do the old man's advice video. Yes. This is not what I was thinking about either, so boom. But this is perfect because it's a short video. And it just randomly popped up on my feed. This is from 2015. Okay.
I made a video not too long ago called An Old Man's Advice. Wow. Looking at me, it looks like I need to trim my beard a little bit. But I received several requests to continue on with that, and so I've decided to share a little bit about myself and my life and my hardships and my successes with you. You know, this world today is tough. It's tough for young people. It's tough for people that for years have had jobs and security and made good money and been able to take care of their families. And some time ago, as you know, jobs were shipped overseas to improve the bottom line of big companies. And I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. I quit school when I was in the 10th grade. My mother and father left me standing on a street corner. And so it was up to me to make it. And I had a job working at a Shell filling station. And I went to the owner and I told him my situation. And I was making $1 an hour, and I asked him if I could work more hours. And so I began working 90 hours a week. And during that time, As I've said before, my home was the back of an old car.
Take a really quick cigarette break.
And I worked my 90 hours a week.
Nothing crazy while I'm gone.
And I took my baths in a filling station restroom. And I washed my clothes, my private clothes, in the sink. And once in a while, when I was really hungry, I would go to the grocery store and snitch an apple or an orange. Now, this was in the 50s. Things were a lot different than they are now. And I'm convinced that the owner of the grocery store knew what I was doing, because it was about a half a block away from where I worked, and he knew me. Now, I've said before that good things nor bad things last forever. And that's true. And I began to learn different things. I knew in my soul that if I had nothing to offer, I was as far as I was going to go. Now, unemployment at that time was very high. On the other hand, in the 50s, you could go into a corporation and ask for a job and get it. And after I'd worked 90 hours a week for a long time, I went into the service. I was 17. In the service, I taught myself to read and write. The first book I picked up was a book written by Louis L'Amour, and had 196 pages in it. I'll never forget it. It was a cowboy story, a Western. And there were words in there that I didn't know, I didn't understand. I had no idea what they were. So I got a dictionary from the service library. And as I would read, if there was a word that I didn't understand, I would look it up. And I will tell you now, it took me almost 3 weeks to read 196 pages. But I read. And I continued to read. And in several months, I was reading 2 and 3 books at a time. And I knew where I was in every single one of them. So that's what you can do. A person's mind is incredible. Your mind is as incredible. As a young person, regardless of what's happening in the world today, you have opportunity. And don't you believe for one single minute what they say in the media. Because if you aren't getting ahead and you need to get ahead, position yourself to learn. Go to the library and learn. You are the backbone of this world. Young people, without you, this world is nothing. Nothing.
It's not gonna show you.
You are the backbone.
You look like you want to get in the bed. Get in the bed.
Of this world. You are the ones that see the greed
I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
of the people that are running it now. You're the ones that see the waste of the people that are running it now. We need you. We need your minds. We need your hearts. We need your lives. We need your love. We need you to care. And I know that you do care. Oh, I see young people stepping on the flag and throwing rocks, and rioting. That's frustration. Oh, frustration. It's frustration with the establishment, and I understand it. But that's not you. Don't let that be you. Rise above it. You're better than that. Rise above it. Anyway, I got kind of off track there. But anyway, as I went on and I got out of the service, I had begun to write and educate myself. I got a little bit of college, and I've continued on through my life with that. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to have a doctorate or a PhD or a master's degree. What you have to have is determination. You have to have an inner will to get things done. You have to have a desire. And I know the desire is there. Because as I said before, without your brains, without your ambition, without your drive, this world will be nothing. Nothing, because old people like me die off. I have been successful, not tremendously successful, but I have a decent retirement. I live with my lovely wife in Arizona. I've had financial problems. Everyone has those. But you can't stop. You can't quit. You can't say, I'm a failure. You're not a failure. You're not. You're a wonderful, strong, intelligent youngster. Take advantage of that. Trust in God. Trust in yourself. And step forward. Put one foot in front of another. Let me give you an example. I've had a couple of businesses. They weren't tremendously successful, but they were successful. I've written books. I have presently probably 13 or 14 books in publication. My latest is Copper Penny. It's in paperback on Amazon. Look it up. So you can do it. I did it. You can do it. I'm 76, and to my last breath, I will encourage young people because I love them. I will encourage young people because I know they are the future. You are the ones that must save the oceans. You are the ones that must save the air, because those that are in power, the bottom line, unfortunately for many, many of those in power all over the world, is wealth and power over others. So I'm going to close this now, but I just wanted you to know that people like me, old soldiers, old people, we understand. And as old as I am, I would pick up my cane and defend you to my last breath because I love you. So I'm going to stop now, but just remember, never quit. Never quit.
Man, that was great. It was randomly showed up on my timeline. I just feel like it was inspirational as hell. Like, I felt like the guy was talking to me. Ain't gonna lie. It's like, you don't need a PhD. You don't have to, but you do need to, want to learn. And I kind of be saying that all the time too. And it's like the children are the future. In education, it's like, they have to know. We have to teach them. The world is shit. The world is gonna be shit if the kids don't know shit. We gotta teach them. I want to play a little bit of this last video, and then I'm gonna wrap it. What'd you think of that, Doc? The video I just played. Let me see. Is there some comments, interesting comments under this? Let me see. Oh, he passed away. Okay, this was May 7th, 2015. Bernard Albertson.
I've seen that a few times.
You've seen it before? I never saw it.
It's been around since 2015.
Yeah.
I thought it was older than that.
Yeah, well, I never saw it, and it popped up on my timeline. It's funny how the algorithm works, though. I'm sure there was a reason why this popped up. A couple comments. It says, "May this legend rest in peace. This man sees every corner of the spectrum on every spectrum. His legacy should never ever go unrecognized." It says, "We're going to create the world that he used to dream. We are capable. He trusted us, and I do too. Humanity isn't lost. Thank you, sir." I want to give this man a really big hug. I feel lucky that this popped up on my recommendations. May he rest in peace. It says, "He was probably the most understanding parent ever. Whoever were his children or grandchildren sure had a great childhood because of him. My man is a true legend." It says, "I don't think he ever thought he touched 12 million people's lives. May he rest in peace."
Donate plasma today at CSL Plasma.
It says, "For those of us who got this recommended, we must continue his honor." Yeah, man, that was good. Australia. Here it is. So Australia made more strict rules with guns after a shooting, a mass shooting, and ever since they have been having a much better situation related to that. And here in the States, the argument is always, guns don't kill people. And that's true. But, y'all check this out. Oh, shit, what did I do?
Now, I'm Amy Goodman with Nermeen Sheikh. As we continue to look at the school shooting massacre in Uvalde, Texas, we're joined by Rebecca Peters, international arms control advocate, former director of the International Action Network on Small Arms. She led the campaign to reform Australia's gun laws after the 1996 Port Arthur massacre, when a gunman shot dead 35 people at a cafe. After the attack, Australia cracked down on gun violence, outlawing automatic and semi-automatic rifles. More than 640,000 weapons were turned into authorities in a nationwide buyback. Rebecca Peters is joining us from Guatemala. Rebecca, thank you so much for being with us again. I feel like we keep having you back after all of these massacres, but it is so important because there was a complete paradigm shift in Australia, a country where so many didn't think it was possible. Talk about what happened in 1996, the horror of the Port Arthur massacre, but then how the country responded.
Well, thanks, Amy. Yes, I mean, thinking back, back then we had a situation, it was similar but not as bad, of course, as in the United States, which is that we did have we had mass shootings about once a year. We had some kind of a mass shooting, and semi-automatic rifles were available in some states. The laws vary state by state in Australia, as in America. And we also had a similar sort of standoff where both of the major political parties were intimidated by the gun lobby, which said, whichever one of you moves to strengthen the gun laws, we will come after you in the election. And so it was a similar kind of scenario in that way, although we never had the very high rates of gun violence, not as high, because we did have our basic level of gun control was higher. What happened in 1996 was this massacre was so enormous, and it took place in a tourist location where a lot of people have been for holidays or for honeymoons, and people, because it was a tourist location, the victims came from every state and territory in the nation. And so every parliament had a constituent or two or more who were affected directly by this massacre. And we had just had a new Conservative Prime Minister elected. And so I guess he saw that he had a few years ahead of him before he had to face another election. And also, I mean, it was just enough. Enough was enough. We'd had too much of this. And what he was able to do was he called the states and territories together and said, I'm going to fix this. And what the amazing breakthrough was that both political parties agreed to support the changes. And that left the gun lobby with nowhere to go. And so very quickly. Also, the research, the policy recommendations, it had already been done by us in civil society, by research institutions. I mean, it was pretty clear what the changes were that were needed. And in 10 days, we got an agreement that all the states and territories would change their laws to a much higher standard, and they did. And so that meant outlawing semi-automatic rifles and shotguns, a much higher standard of background checks and licensing that was required, including the proof of a legitimate reason to have the sort of gun you want to buy, registration of all firearms, so that if someone displays some kind of behavior that suggests they shouldn't have a firearm, that firearm can be taken away, and also so that you can track the accumulation of arsenals, and a range of other things as well. But basically, the laws became pretty much uniform across the country, and as part of, as you mentioned earlier, as part of that, the ban on semi-automatics, those guns were bought back, so they're no longer in circulation. And because the law changed at the same time, those, like, sometimes there are buybacks, but the law doesn't change, so it's kind of like just mopping the floor while the tap is still on. If you change the law at the same time, then those guns cannot be immediately replaced with similar weapons. And so, and really the result has been a spectacular success. We didn't have another mass shooting incident for almost 25 years, and we just generally have much lower rates of gun violence, and also a lower rate of fear. You know, we don't think at all about the possibility of being murdered as we go about our daily lives in Australia.
Rebecca, a couple of things that might be, apart from the fact, as you mentioned, that Australia, even prior to these changes, had much fewer mass shootings than the U.S. Could you talk about the relative strength of the gun lobby there, whether the electoral system in Australia is so dependent on funding from lobbyists and corporations, number one, and then second, that Australia, of course, had nothing like the Second Amendment. There's no constitutional right in Australia to bear arms, and what impact that might have had.
Yes, that's right. So if we had we never had the idea well, there are Australians who believe that it is a right to have a gun, but that was never legally acceptable or even socially acceptable, really. And in fact, with the new laws, they actually, most of them say really specifically, ownership of guns is a privilege that is subject to the overriding concern for public safety. So that's really clear that public safety trumps individual ownership of weapons. And that was a huge advantage we had, of course. And also, as you mentioned, it's true, we had a gun lobby that was cranky and threatening and had succeeded in some cases in intimidating or in probably contributing to the defeat of some electoral candidates. But they did not have the power that the American gun lobby has, because our electoral system, well, we have a parliamentary system, but also the role of money in politics. Although we still complain in Australia that there's too much money in politics, certainly the ability to so kind of outright just buy the politicians and the policies you want is much less in Australia. It's true that we had those distinct advantages before this all took place.
Rebecca, very quickly, we have if you can talk about how the U.S. exports violence around the world, the U.S. being by far the largest small arms exporter in the world.
Yes, I mean, the U.S. is the largest producer, the largest exporter, both illegal and legal. So when we talk about exports, you often think of legal exports of weapons. But of course, the trafficking of guns from the U.S., because of the loose regulation, especially of the southern border states, means that the U.S. is also the biggest exporter of illegal weapons. And that means that the violence problems that occur, especially in Latin America, are very directly traceable in large part to the American production of weapons and of violence. And so it's why all of us in the rest of the world have a big interest in America doing something about its just unbelievably lax regulation of weapons.
Yep. What do y'all think about that?
So you think you're gonna take it there? Look like
Shakira still looks good. I wonder how old is she? She's up there. I mean, she been out since I was going through puberty. That was a long time ago.
oh, Monique built to wrestle. You seen how she built? Monique built to wrestle. Monique head looked like my chest.
I cannot.
Like she wrestled gators. Right. That's a hippo head heifer.
Oh.
Monique got a motherfucking rhino head, dog.
Hey, y'all get off of Monique. She funny.
Females and some men have nowadays. Why struggle with a man? Why would I be doing bad with a man when I can do bad all by myself? Or I can do better by myself? You don't have teamwork skills. You don't work well with others. Bitch, you don't know how to communicate. Ho, you don't know how to operate in a household where everything don't just go your way. That is why you do better by yourself. Y'all mamas didn't tell y'all this part. They told y'all the first part, well, you shouldn't be struggling with a man. She didn't tell you that if you don't acquire the skills to work well with others, bitch, you won't be able to do better with others. This is why a lot of y'all don't understand the concept that you can be in a group or a team and things should be going better. But if y'all don't know how to organize, if you don't know how to manage emotions, if you don't got boundaries, you will use one another up. You will always feel like a victim if you don't have goals and the right mindset. The question that so many females and some men have nowadays: why struggle with a man? Why would I be doing bad with a man when I can do bad all by myself? Or I can do better by myself? You don't have teamwork skills. You don't work well with others. Bitch, you don't know how to communicate. Ho, you don't know how to operate in a household where everything don't just go your way. That is why you do better by yourself.
Oh man, she preaching right there. You know, not being able to communicate, not working well with others, wanting to control everything. This is a problem. It's compromise that takes for anything to work. It's not going to work if all parties have to compromise a bit. You can't get it exactly the way you want it. But whatever. I know people not trying to hear that shit. And that's why they ass is either alone or in a dysfunctional ass fucking relationship. Communicating honestly, you know, working well with others, you know, giving away consolidations, you know, being able to switch roles, you know, being flexible. You know, who says the man has to be the one that's making all the money and paying all the bills? You know, who says any of that stuff? Like, whatever your household, however it works for you, for y'all in your household, and that's the way your household works. And every household is not going to work the same way. Everybody don't have the same skills. And you work together as a team and you fill in each other's weaknesses. This says, actually shot a U.S. president and Secret Service agent, now free and loving life. Sentenced to life for prison for $30 of marijuana. I think he's beside the point on that. But it's funny that they mentioned Reagan, because I think that's what I want to talk about a bit tonight. I don't know. I might save that shit for next week because it's pretty heavy stuff.
I will not be jealous. I will not be jealous.
What is it?
Look at me. Look at
I'm
me.
looking.
Do I not deserve? Am I not cute enough? Do I not deserve some love?
No, it's just something about this, my cat. And the cat is cute. But am I not cute too? No, I'm not cute. You know, when I move my ears, like, is that not cute anymore? When I shake my ears, like, oh, nah, rub my head. I'm shaking my ears. Yeah. What's this? Your summer coat is flourishing. My favorite PET. Oh, now you're so nice. Oh, now what's PET? Such a stupid dog. Oh, now what's PET? What does PET mean? What's PET? Oh, now can I tell? Sure. PET stands for pet. Useless canine. Look at
PET stands for pet. Everybody making these mindless ass TikToks. Playing silly ass fucking challenges and shit. Meanwhile, the world is a mess. A damn powder keg out here. The right spark and the whole thing gonna go up. But y'all watching sports.
They like, oh, he ready. He with it. That's you telling them like, yeah, I'm ready. And then next thing you know, you get invited to the party with the greeting is the man squeezing your dick. Whoa.
But instead of a professional meet and greet, Cruz claims Bennett leered at him from across the room.
And he looked me in my eyes and he was sticking his tongue out overtly sexually to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a sexual type tongue move. And I'm going, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is. I reach my hand out and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately squeezes, grabs my genitals and I'm jumping back like, hey, whoa.
I'm telling you, wow. My cousins would be like, yo, son, like, you that guy? Like, you? I'm like, bro, I don't want it that bad.
How to put this tight ass shirt on you.
That's what they do.
And if you wear the shirt,
they like, oh, he ready.
He with it.
That's you telling them like, yeah, I'm ready. And then next thing you know, you get invited to the party with the greeting is the man squeezing your dick. Whoa.
But it's
I didn't make it that far in music to be able to find out if that's true or not, but I have heard some things like that before. So I think it's true.
A super bad feeling about the U.S. economy is high off 10%. You say to Elon Musk about his feeling about the economy. Jamie Dimon has said similar things.
Well, let me tell you, while Elon Musk is talking about that, Ford is increasing their investment overwhelmingly. I think Ford is increasing the investment in building new electric vehicles, 6,000 new employees, union employees, I might add, in the Midwest.
He pulled out his notes.
Former Chrysler Corporation, Stellantis, they are also making similar investments in electric vehicles. Intel is adding 20,000 new jobs for making computer chips. You know, lots of luck in his trip to the moon. I mean,
Elon Musk has said that he has a super bad feeling.
He's like, wait. Let me check my notes on this one. I know what I'm supposed to say, but I'm gonna check my notes because I don't want to mess this one up.
And as I see that they're opening my son's door, I go run for my son and I get him.
With both of her kids out safe, Gomez still can't shake the thought of those who didn't make it.
While you were inside the school, did you see officers
There was not
inside
one
the school?
officer inside the school when I ran to my second son's class. There was not one officer.
And you were hearing gunshots, so you knew
You
that
could hear the
it was an
gunshots.
active
It
shooter.
was still active. The gunshots were still active. They were not in there. There was no one in there. If anything, when I pulled up, my car was closer to the school than where the snipers and everybody that was laying on the ground were.
When you heard that it took law enforcement 75 minutes before they went in and stopped the shooter, what was your thinking, having been inside the school yourself?
I don't know. I was just thinking that they could have saved many more lives. And they started escorting me out. And as I see that they're opening my son's door, I go run for my son and I get him.
With both of her kids out safe, Gomez still can't shake the thought of those who didn't make it.
While you were inside the school, did you see officers
There was not inside one
the school?
officer inside the school when I
In
ran
the
to my second
areas-
son.
Yeah, man, that story is really, really sad. Let me see. Hold on, go back. Let me see if we get some comments in this. Chaka, this is Chaka Bar's post on Instagram. Chaka Bar's, he said, "She the real MVP. Moms are amazing. Check my last post for something you should watch." First comment, it says, "That's because the cops don't care. That mama bear kicked in. That's effed up. I would have had to die about trying to rescue these kids, not just mines. However many I can grab, they didn't deserve this. Nor did these teachers." It says, "Wow, are they really arguing that she's wrong?" Another one, it says, "I'm confused. How, why was she handcuffed? She just said not cops around." Yeah, I'm confused too. Why didn't they explain that? It says, "So sad that they should all be replaced with real officers who actually protect and serve." Somebody says, "Donuts come first." Another one says, "That mother needs to be careful because they can easily set her response up as another way to blame teachers or the school for having unsecured doors. Then police had stand down orders. This was theatrics. She better be quiet before they get her. The whole thing was a setup. She needs to train them." What? "She needs to train them and countless others." What? Okay, let me stop because they're starting to lose me.
Las Vegas, this is what you do. You book a door gunner experience at Gunship Helicopters. You get to hop in a helicopter and shoot targets in the mountains with a machine gun. Yes, a machine gun. You also got access to all type of guns where you can shoot targets on the ground too. You can even try out a flamethrower. Overall, this experience was amazing. Follow me for more adventures. What up, y'all? If you're looking for a unique
I ain't gonna lie, they look kind of fun. I think I'm gonna start getting into it in a second.
Wasn't at the food court, he was here. The Apple store is right there. He literally came in, and so he walked in and he was looking at my incense, and our incense are handmade and fresh. We sell natural remedies like essentials. We have crystals. And what's the name of your business? My business is Asian Infusions. Well, our family business. It's me, my uncle, my whole family, my grandfather. And so what we do.
The whole thing is stupid. The Umar goes viral every now and then. That was Dr. Umar's post, and he was basically saying that the chick wasn't a snow bunny or whatever. She's Persian. I don't know what fucking difference it made.
What's your favorite book? Cat's Cradle? Oh, okay. What's in that book? Oh, humanity. Yeah, I don't read no shit like that. What's your name? Well, I've been talking to this whole time. Yes, you. Damn. Yeah. Huh? Oh, okay. I find it challenging to talk to white people sometimes. My favorite book? What's your favorite book?
He said, "I find it challenging to talk to white people sometimes." That's fucking funny. Okay, let me see. I kind of wanted to, because I put the guns in the title, so I gotta talk about guns. News networks are not even getting clicks like that. So this shows like there's an opportunity for this, what we're doing here on this show.
So I really enjoyed seeing you be confident in your perspective. And I think that you have a lot to say, especially when I saw a lot about social issues and politics. And I will be honest, like I'm not as well versed as I probably should be. But I really appreciated being able to learn from your content. I think a lot of people, and also have a different perspective. So I think a lot of people, it's kind of like an echo chamber. They like what they like hearing, what they like hearing. And so I'm very much a person who I love seeing both sides. I love getting different perspectives. I love getting different opinions. So I really enjoyed being able to learn things from you.
Yeah, man. That's hot shit right there, man.
So who know?
We want you to be an activist, and don't take our word for it. Look that shit up. Pulley.